Everybody, welcome to It's a King Thing with Miss Ray. And today I have my little sister, well, one of the little ones, because there's quite a few of them, and Chris, my little cousin. Even though she's bigger than me, we ain't gonna talk about that though. I'm just saying. So anyway, but she know I fight. But anyway, so today they don't know what the topic is, so everybody will get shocked at the same time.
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Are you ready?
No.
Don't turn off past the mic.
I'm definitely not ready.
He turned off the pastor? Now I'm really nervous. He turned off the pastor. I'm concerned. I'm holding my pearls.
Clutch your pearls. Don't clutch your pearls yet till you get to the end topic. But the first topic is, did my parents' upbringing damage me?
Oh shit!
I thought you would like that.
I feel like my dog over here is whining. I feel like my dog
some shit.
You're trying to start family drama.
No, you know what we're gonna start to do? We're gonna start to do is we're gonna start to go face things head on and stop hiding.
Unpack the generation.
That's my attitude about it. I mean, I don't think that it causes drama. I think because y'all know I already say what I got to say. So
Lord,
anything I'm gonna say here, I probably done already said it.
Well, see, you went up on something. I'm just saying. So, who wants to start? You want me to start? Make it easy for y'all?
You first.
Yeah.
Okay. Did my family upbringing damage me? To a degree, I would say yes. First and foremost, my sister and I, the little one right there, wave your hand so they'll know that it's you. We have the same father, but different mothers. I was raised with my dad, and she was raised with her mom. That sounded crazy, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little with
okay, so I was raised with not my biological father, and she wasn't raised with her biological father either.
Oh no!
So he had the same biological father.
No, he did the damaging drop-ins. Don't act like he wasn't around. He did the damaging drop-ins.
See, I was lucky. He didn't do the damaging drop-ins with me.
Right.
I was, I think I remember.
Dad, I love you now. You were amazing. Yay. Well, okay, yay. But you did the damaging drop-ins. But I'm not saying anything I haven't said to him, so I'm okay.
Well, literally, I have never said anything about this.
Okay.
I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Never?
I mean, what is there to say? I didn't grow up with you. It's no secret. I mean, what is there to say about that? But there's still the dichotomy between him and Big Gregory. There's still that energy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't know how my dad was raised. My grandmother, who I met a handful of times, and I love Sugar Dude to the end of this earth. But did I really know the dynamics? Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
I knew Joe. I can tell you more about Joe than Sugar Dude, which is crazy to me. Does that make sense?
I'm not. So I'm going to say that Sugar Dude is she who shall not be named for me. I'm not touching that dynamic. To be honest, though, I don't know all of that dynamic. I only know what I've heard from my mom and even from my dad some. I only know what I've heard. I never really had a lot of the interaction of them together that wasn't it was more when I got towards young adulthood is when I probably had the most interaction with them together, and then she was his great defender. So for me, who still had issues with him, it put me at odds with her sometime because I was upset with him and I felt like she would be defending him. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't like you either. That was sometimes the interaction. It took, I mean, I'm just being honest. It took time to separate the two. We did get to a space where we were good, but there were a couple years there as I became an adult. Because when I became an adult, I was just real F you. I got all my F yous out. When I hit 18, 18 was the little button, the little switch flip. I was like, sweet little Nikki. 18 hit. I was like, I told our father exactly what I thought of him. I wanted to have a fist fight with him. That was my life goal. On the porch of where did your grandma Cheryl live? What was that building called?
The Kula Cools?
The Kula Cools.
You talking about
Well, up by
that was
Costco.
in Inglewood, right? Right by the Costco.
So he lived there.
I only
Oh
knew about
yeah,
Mark.
you
I
were
remember
18
Market
because
Street.
I was like 2 years old.
He
I was like
lived in
2 or
that
3 when
building,
they lived there.
and he lived in that building with whatever young person he was dating. And I went to the building, and he was
On
talking. I
Market
was
Street?
like,
Wait, slow down. On
no,
Market
this
Street?
wasn't. This
On
wasn't on
Market
Market
Street.
Street. This
This
was
was,
like
you
on
know where the Inglewood
102nd
Costco is?
in Yukon.
I never even went over there. I don't know
It
nothing
was
about that over there.
it
Okay.
was
Okay, but there's a
102nd
side
Yukon.
street by the Inglewood Costco, and
It's
that
Yukon.
apartment building was right there on that side
100.
street.
It was on 102nd and Yukon. That was about right where it was.
Really? Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
And so I remember going over there with the intention to make him want to fight me. Like that was my whole intention. Like I went over
Yeah,
there.
I feel
That
that.
was my life goal. Like you gonna fight me today. Cause I want to say I ended by calling him a bitch. I'm pretty sure.
Oh
I was
shit.
very
Wait,
angry and I
that
won. And he was like, he was like, you can I curse on this? I don't know.
yeah, sure can.
Okay.
It's mine.
He was
I can
like,
do whatever I want to on it.
he was like talking, and he was like, and he was going like this, and he was like, something. And I wanted, if I'm right, I'm pretty sure he called me a bitch first. I was like, you the little bitch. And then I just said a whole bunch of stuff I don't even remember, but I went off, and he wanted to hit me so bad. And so that was the worst. But then we had the day where I went to him, 20, little more mature. He lived next door to Sugardo, and I went to his apartment. I locked him in, and I was like, I'm going to say everything I want to say to you today, and you're going to hear me. Right? In his apartment, I said everything I wanted to say to him. It still didn't heal me, but it was one step towards it. But I had to tell him, like, you were sorry. You didn't know, this man didn't learn how to say my name. Beautiful father. Did not know how to spell my name until I was 28. And I had to tell him, like,
in his defense, it's kind of complicated. I'm just gonna say,
I've known how to spell that name since I was like 15.
So first of all, all of my children, by the time I was 28, my oldest son was 7, and he could spell my name. He was 7.
I definitely know
that's
how
all
to
I'm
spell.
saying is my 7-year-old knew how to spell my name on the school forms. He could on the field trip slip, he could spell my whole name. He was 7, and he wasn't my father. Okay. So that was, and that was, it's, I say it with passion now, but it's not a bone of contention for me now, but it was a bone of contention with me there. I was like, how are you, my daddy? You love me, yada, yada, yada. You don't even know how to say my name.
So I would like to add, and how you don't know how to spell my name, and your mama, the one who gave me this damn name and the spelling of it.
Yep, her and my mama together. I mean, it's a lot of spelling. It definitely ain't Nikki.
Right.
So I'm just saying, it's got a lot of letters. But yeah. So I don't know. So I mean, those are just a few of the things that were hard to navigate. I mean, you know, our dad, he is a complicated, flawed, strong-willed, loving man.
That's my favorite uncle.
Let me say something different.
Yep.
You made a statement just now, and I'm like, that's not true.
Okay.
When you said, our dad, I really don't.
Okay.
Let me be honest. I forgot about something for a long time till I reread the book that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely was a trigger. And you and I had discussed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it here for those who haven't read the book. It's on Amazon. You can call me King. That's not what it's called. It's called You Never Know How Strong You Are Until God Tests You. I forgot about when I was working at Macy's and I was on food stamps and I was giving them the whole food stamp card, but they weren't buying food that we ate.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah was an infant. And then he also wanted money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't have any more money to give you. I'm trying to move with my kids and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, I need some gas money. And I'm looking at him like, you and your wife got a job. I mean, I don't understand why I got to give you gas. I don't have it. Like, I'm trying to move. But you got weed money. I mean, that's just how I felt. You have weed money. So why I got to give you my last, and I done gave you $300 some odd worth of food stamps, and we ain't got $300 worth of fucking food. Sorry. It's a little sore. It's still a little sore, just a little bit. And so then he was like, Well, y'all got to go. Straight the fuck on out. Y'all got to go. I was like, okay. At this point, my mother was gone. So where am I supposed to go? And I didn't know where to go. I had nowhere to go. Because me and my dad had got into it. My mother got sick, and before my mother got sick, and we weren't speaking at all. So there was no one to call, and me and my kids wound up in the shelter with the homeless people. And I was like, Now I know me and Gregory Mitchell had been through some shit, but he would have never, ever. But then I remembered I was different from the rest of his kids, so I it. You understand what I'm saying?
You're different from the rest of his kids. What do you mean by that? Like, okay, let's just say me and you. When you say you're different from us or from me in regards to him, what does that mean? Because I don't think I ever really understand what that means.
He does not treat me the way he treats you and the rest of them. Okay. He never has.
I hear what you're. I'm gonna have to say I hear what she's saying. Like I hear what you're saying. I acknowledge what you're saying. I'm not gonna say that I'm not in your shoes, but I will acknowledge that I've seen a time, not now, but in the past, where there may have been a definite sense where you could feel like that. That's what I'm gonna acknowledge. I'm not saying it's intentional, because I know, Krishan, you want to say something. I'm gonna let you say that in a second. I'm gonna say that I can acknowledge where you might feel like that.
I mean, I understand. Like, I was different. I wasn't there. Like, I get, we don't have a relationship like you guys do. You understand what I'm saying?
So we didn't have a relationship though we didn't have a relationship until I was an adult. And I will say,
you have more interaction. You have more interaction with him than I did.
My interaction was really horrible.
Okay, but you had interaction. I didn't even have that.
I mean, you had limited interaction. I had limited interaction. Let's just be really honest. When he got with Leslie was the most interaction I ever had with him. That's when I had the most interaction with him, is when he got with Leslie. Prior to Leslie, it was very sporadic. One, sometimes I didn't even know where the hell he was. So you can't have interaction with somebody you don't know where they at. And by the time he got with Leslie, you have to think I was 19.
Right.
He got with Leslie, I was already an adult, and pretty much just wanted to run him over with a car. Like, if you just really honest, like that's honestly how I felt back then.
I mean, I get it.
I didn't know how to drive, so I didn't have an option. I didn't have access, thank God, because in my angry years,
I feel like I get your anger, and I totally understand it. I feel like your mom and him, they had a much more volatile relationship. You understand what I'm saying? You probably experienced more with that situation that I did with my parent, with him and my mom, because I never seen them two together ever. Like, literally, I can count on one hand this way. One hand the amount of times I've seen him and my mother in the same room together. Once was at dinner having very inappropriate conversation that I should never, ever have heard. Ever.
Conversation with their parents.
Man, listen, you want to talk about how you was conceived and the cold ass spermicidal cream? Girl, it was horrible. At the restaurant across the dinner table. I don't want to hear this. Talking about when I stuck my dick up in it, it was cold. I was like, ew. Right.
Why'd you share that with us? We didn't want to know either.
I didn't. Right. I was like, I don't want to hear this.
Kept that. You could have kept it. You could have kept it. You could have kept it.
Oh, I got one better for you. Or when you said,
no, don't give us one better. We passed.
Not on that level. No. You know, your daddy was crazy. He was high on PCP and handcuffs. They kicked out the police window with the barefoot. I didn't need to know that either. I need to have that visual.
I mean, you can still get that visual, right?
You know what?
on Thursday, you might still get that visual now. Right. All right, we picking apart our parents. While I'm over there in the little quiet parent corner. I definitely want to.
Before we go to my parents, I do want to say one thing. So, like, y'all daddy is literally my favorite uncle.
We know, we know.
But I am
actually go wrong in your eyes
now No, that's not true. Actually, I think that some of the people who are my most favorite people I've are some of the they're really, really bad people in other people's lives. And so from my perspective, I spent probably more time with him than both of you guys, honestly, because I was at his house every summer for my entire life, and as all weekends and holidays, and I def I was always with him and the girls. And there was plenty of time that he wasn't always working, so he was the one who was at home while Auntie Leslie was at work, and we were, whatever. I say that to say I witnessed a lot, and and I heard a lot of conversations because I've always been nosy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now that I'm an adult, so I say that to say I don't think that he necessarily. I'm not trying to take away from your experience because I know that you did grow up more separately than a lot of everyone else did. Because like I remember Auntie Nikki all the time and Uncle Marcus all the time when me growing up. I don't necessarily remember you being around all the time. Like I always knew who you were. Like I don't remember not knowing who you were, but I don't remember you always being there the way that like everybody else was around as much. But I've personally witnessed him be a very horrible, no good, terrible, shitty ass parent to little Marcus, Auntie Nikki, you, and Joey for sure. Now, Shalita, Quisha, and Mish is slightly different.
Mm-mm.
I've witnessed some bullshit with them too, but they did get a different person, a different variation. But like, shit, I mean, Joey's gone now, so he act like the reason he's so damn broken hearted about Joey is because there was a point when Joey almost got killed because Uncle Marcus was like, I need you to get these drugs in your name for me because we got bills to pay at the house and da 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 da.
What? Huh? So what?
Listen, I wasn't a kid. I was grown as hell when this shit happened. And he got some drugs, and Joey got the person to front them for him, and Joey had to come up with the money
Because
because
let me guess,
otherwise
Dad smoked that shit up.
he smoked that shit up. And then he wanted to act like he was mad at Joey because Joey was like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what's up? But that's still his dad, so Joey not finna go over there and really press the issue like he would with somebody else. Right. So he just took that L and figured it out. Like Big Marcus still treats little Marcus. I know that little Marcus is not everybody's favorite person on earth, and he can be pretty aggressive with his words, and I be needing, my own boundaries with him as well. But in my opinion, from my perspective of me being somebody who done had plenty of beef with little Marcus of my own, Big Marcus he picks and chooses what battles he want to stand and die on. And it's like, nigga, this your son that you got left. Like, you want to.
I hear you. The problem with the Marquises is they are exactly alike.
Oh, for sure. The problem
with the Marquises is that the way that they treat people a certain way, and they don't like to be treated that way. And they are so much alike that they both treat each other that way and then be mad. Like, he'd be like, oh, you called me a bitch. You called him a bitch. Yep. Like, y'all called each other a bag full of bitches, and now y'all mad. Like, how you mad? You know what I'm saying? And then and ultimately, under a lot of what their anger is hurt.
Yep.
I'm hurt that you said this, and I'm hurt that you said that, because you both know each other's triggers, so you say them to each other. And I mean, so you get what you get.
And both of them hold on to things for a really, really, really long time.
Right.
Really long time. But my point is just,
don't tell me that I look like I don't have
for the older set, which I refer to the four of you.
That's how we
the four of you. I refer to the four of you as the older set. I think that he may not have been equally a jackass, but from my perspective and what I saw with me growing up and with me being a younger adult, and from what I've seen, shit, he treated me better than he treated all y'all, honestly. Like, and I'm his niece.
I can go with that. I can agree with that.
So
Puka could do
from
no wrong. Puka, 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 puka,
hey,
puka,
I'm
puka, puka,
baby.
puka. Puka gonna sit
But
her ass down. So I'm gonna whoop her ass. What's gonna happen? Puka better go sit her ass down somewhere.
but I just say that to say, like, I I understand feeling singled out and feeling like, well, shit, what the fuck did I do that you got this relationship with everybody else and not with me? But I mean, the person he got a relationship with is because she did 80% of the work. Like, he got a relationship like that with Auntie Nikki because she did most of the work. And to be honest, the reason he still has a relationship with really because I remember I ain't gonna I remember very specifically an incident that occurred where Shalita, Quisha, and Mish was like, that nigga could die tomorrow and we wouldn't give a fuck.
I
We
remember
here
that
for our
incident.
mama.
I remember that incident.
We here for our mama. And
Yep.
the reason they forgave him and they still love and deal with him is not because they love him. It's because of how much they love Auntie Leslie.
I mean, they do love him a
I
lot.
mean, she's
They do love him.
she's a little
They
super
do.
wonderful. I'm just saying, she's a little super wonderful.
He is a little
She
super
is.
wonderful. I love her.
She
A little super
absolutely
wonderful.
is.
I'm just
But
saying. I mean, I
But
just
they were definitely
yeah.
at a point in time where they was like, honestly, we don't. And then there was another time after that where it was calm. It wasn't even a big situation, but they was like, if you want to be done, we all could be done. Like, we cool. We don't
Okay,
like
real. Can we be really honest? I had that same conversation. Told her too, and I was like, "And you get me in the divorce." I sure did have that conversation with her.
like
I mean, because if he was to lose Leslie, which is the best thing that's ever happened to him, then you did something really really bad, and we all on her side. Like I think, and if he don't know that, shame on him because we all feel the same.
I mean,
That's just the truth.
that little incident happened, Nikki. You know what I'm talking about? And I was like, we going up to Vegas? What we doing? Because
Right.
like,
He was like,
I was like,
we going right now. Like
right now,
and
like
we
for
not
right now.
we want to take care of him because he did something to Nana, and we love Nana.
Period.
Team Nana.
Period.
I
Exclamation
need a
point.
little
Like,
T-shirt say Team Nana. Like that's how we feel.
because at the end of the day, she don't fuck with nobody.
no. But she
don't
got
deserve
everybody back.
that. She don't.
She got everybody back.
Right. So it's like,
That's
nah, I'm good.
And so I stay on her about taking care of herself now, like
Right.
giving her own self joy, because she's had everybody's back through everything. And I mean, and I'm gonna say that you're right in regards to the relationship with dad. I did a lot of work. Like I suck. So, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you when it happened. It happened on a Father's Day. I was in church, Bible enrichment. Pastor Bam was talking, and I was and and Father's Day was always really really hard for me. Like it just tore me up every single year. It didn't matter that we was almost okay. Father's Day, I want to say I was about 27. And Father's Day for me, every year I would be at church and I would just be grieving. Like I would be grieving like somebody had died. And I have two dads. Like my dad, my Donald, that is my dude, that is my man. I love my daddy. That's why he got to walk me down the aisle. And it wasn't anything against my dad, but I'm gonna go back to that in a second. But I was in church. And I promise you, I was sitting there, I was grieving. My heart was heavy. I had all of this going on. And God said to me, he says, but I'm your father.
Mm.
Just like we're talking right now. He said, but I'm your father. And when I say he said that to me and that released something in me, it released the hurt little girl. It released the anger. When I tell you it released everything, it released it all for me. And so I was able to move forward in a place with him to be like, hey, I love you. And this is what we need to do in order for us to make it. Because everything he used to do would trigger me. It would just take me right back. But after that day and that moment is when I got the release of that daddy thing I had been looking for, and the hurt little girl who was still waiting for her dad to remember her birthday, to come by. Like he gave me a parakeet. I didn't even like animals. Like, because he didn't know who I was and he would just randomly come bring me things. But it took that space and that moment for me to get that release and be able to say to him, look, let's do this. Let's be friends. Just friends. You're not my dad. I'm not your daughter. We're going to be friends. And we're going to start this from a friendship place. And then we'll work our way there. And we did little by little. Like I said, you need to learn my name, big dog. I need you to know my birthday and my name. Okay. My whole name. I need you to know how to spell it. Right. Let's just little baby steps. And that was 28. I got married when I was 30, and he didn't get to walk me down the aisle because I told him, like, you didn't earn the right to walk me down the aisle. My dad earned the right to walk me down the aisle. I said, I want you to be there. You're a groomsman and all of that. But Donald was the one who got up in the middle of the night when I needed, like, I used to have to be at work. I was single mom, had to be at work at 6 a.m., and the babysitter couldn't come until 6 a.m. But I worked in Irvine. So I would leave and somebody would take me to get a ride. And so my kids would be in the house by themselves for that hour. And my dad would park outside until the babysitter came. Right. Or I just stumbled home late and I locked my key somewhere. My daddy driving a little girl, what you done did now? He coming over there, but he jimmy in the lock and he letting me in. When I was on
Those
bed
what
rest for
dads
pregnancy,
do.
yeah, when I was on
That
bed
is
rest for
so
pregnancy, he went on leave from his job to stay home for me because my mom couldn't go on leave. So he went on leave. He stayed home. He tried to kill me with them breakfasts because he made a mountain of potatoes. It was a plate, had a mountain of potatoes with 4 eggs around it and bacon. And he's like, eat,
that's
little girl. I
cute.
was like, you're gonna kill me. I was like, okay, I can't eat all that, Dad. Nobody, you don't need to make 6 potatoes for me. I know I'm fat, but I don't need 6 potatoes worth of smothered potatoes. Like, it would be a little potato mountain with eggs on top and bacon surrounding it. But he would do that. He would do that for me. And so that's,
See,
but
yeah.
so dad and I, we're now I can tell you, like, dad and I are there now. Like that is somebody I can call dad at 3 in the morning. If I'm upset, like I've been upset about something, I can call him. He gonna answer the phone. What's going on? Whatever, whatever. He show up for my daughter, and I will say he shows up for my daughter more than he ever showed up for me, and he showed up for our sisters more than he ever showed up for us. Even though he still was a little iffy, but he's a different person, not perfect, but better,
Yeah.
and he puts in effort. But I know where that's not your reality.
Yeah.
I know, but I also know, I'm gonna say this, not making an excuse for him, but I also know you. And there's only so much bending that you're gonna do to have a relationship. I bent and bent and bent because I really, really, really wanted that relationship. But you and I are really, really different. And you're like, in my opinion, you're like, why should I have to work for a relationship you should already be chasing me for? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you love me enough to put in that effort? Why don't you value me enough to make to make the effort that I would make for you? Why don't you see the value in me? What I'm going to say to you, like I said, not making an excuse for him, is that is not how he's ever been wired. And the reason we have the relationship, because um, I've made a lot of concessions and adjustments. I hold him accountable now. Like when he said, remember, I called you when he said that flippant ass comment that hurt my feelings, right? I called you and and then I went back and I talked to him about it. But our relationship is different also because my personality is different. I'm strong. I'm one type of strong. You're another type of strong. And so your strength and your strong and your, I don't want to say pride because it's not pride, but your sense of self-worth doesn't allow you to bend and make accommodations in order for him to fit into your life. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
I think if I could jump in, I think I know exactly what you're saying because it's how I am. Because so for me, I look at it like this, and with my mom, you the mama, so you the one who's supposed to fix this. I'm the child. I don't got to be the bigger person. I don't got to be mature. I shouldn't have to come to you to have these conversations. You shouldn't still be saying things that hurt my feelings. You shouldn't still be like nonchalant and not checking in on me and calling me or whatever. I shouldn't be the person who got to always come to the other side of the bridge. You should be able to come to the other side of the bridge sometimes. But that's just not who he is. Like, not all the way. Like, he gotta, it's like for me, even though I've had a better relationship with him most of my life, when I got older, me and him have had a lot of really deep conversations as far as like the reason he don't talk to me the way he talks to a lot of the other, like, technically, like, not kids but everybody else in my generation. You not gonna talk to me like that because, nigga, I will fight you. I don't care if you my favorite uncle or not. Like, you not finna talk to me like that. I'm nigga, what's up? But I've had those conversations with him and we've worked through it. And just like I've had to have those conversations with other people and we've worked through it. And with him, I can truly say I've had to teach him how to treat me, but he was open to me teaching
Mhm.
him how to treat me, because
Yeah.
me and him have had conversations. Because like there were times when, because he used to, woo, I love my Uncle Marcus, but when I was in my early 20s, when I was younger and when I was a teenager, the way he was a champion of my mama, until I finally literally was like, look, nigga, she ain't who you think she is. I don't care about the sunshine and roses and all the cute shit, the Christmas decorations, and oh my God, I don't care about none of that. That ain't who she is. And if you still think that's who she is, then tell me why my friends are helping me bring my stuff from her house to your house on the city bus at 11 o'clock at night. Why? Why is it six girls on the bus at 11 o'clock at night in Vegas packing all my shit from her house into whatever bags I had to move to your house because I didn't have nowhere else to go and I was 18, 19 at the time? She can't be that much sunshine and roses, pumpkin. Like, so then, and then there was a time when I was in 2014. 2014 was the last time me and him had a real bad situation behind my mama. And that's because they threw Granny Cheryl a surprise party and I was not invited because my mom had went around lying to everyone and telling them that I scammed her and I did this to her and I did that to her, when the whole time in reality, she in reality, all of the things she said I did to her, she had done to me. And how I found out about the party was Thomas called me and was like, "Where you on your way to Granny's? I mean, to Uncle Marcus' house." And I was like, "No." So I got on the bus and caught the bus all the way there. And when I got there, he was like, "You can't come in the house." And I was like, "What?" And Auntie Leslie was like, "Listen to what she has to say." Auntie Leslie and Auntie Dominica said, "This ain't what she's saying about Puka don't sound right. Listen to what she had to say." And so he stayed outside, and I said exactly what my mom was doing and lying on me about. And Granny Cheryl was sitting right there, and Uncle Marcus was like, "Baby, I'm so sorry." He was like, "I will never turn on you like that again." Cause she had, and when I tell you everybody in Vegas wasn't fucking, when I tell you, like, I literally was in a house with no phone, no gas, no water. I mean, not no water, no phone, no gas, no lights. In the worst winter of Vegas, when the neighbor came over and showed us how to wrap the pipes, and eating like beans out of a can and tortillas, trying to figure the shit out, walking sometimes 2 and 3 miles, it was 2.5 miles to my job, and I would walk my ass to work and walk my ass home until Miranda realized and she started giving me a ride to work every single day. And then once I started getting paid more money, getting paid enough, I was able to start giving her gas money for her taking me to work every day. And then I was able to go get a cell phone, and then I was able to figure out how to pay the lights and the gas bill. The reason the lights and the gas were both off is because she did not pay the lights and the gas at where she was, but they were in the same
That
name,
damn
because
Vegas. That Vegas ain't no joke.
the lights and gas were all in Jerron's name, and she wasn't paying where she was at, and then she moved, so they transferred all of it to my account, and I had to come up. It was like $3,200 to pay all of it, to pay for the lights and the gas to finally get cut on. And it was like November, mind you, and this shit was in November. This was my birthday month. And Granny Cheryl's birthday is October 29th. You know how cold it is in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
And she going around telling everybody that I'm doing this to her, that
And
we
so I
good.
think I think
But
that
that was the very last time, that was the last time me and him really had like, if you ever pick her and listen to her and believe her over me again, you don't never got to worry about having the relationship with your niece that you had, because we gonna be done. And when I say done, like my friend came and picked me up from his house that day because I left. Like I told them everything, the truth. Kimyetta stayed her ass in that house, and I got in the car with my friend came and picked me up, and I left, and I was like, honestly, all y'all could go to hell. I don't care if you never speak to me again at this point. Y'all can have her. She can have you and you can have her. And everybody who on her side can stay there. And thank God, in February of the following 2 months later in February, I came to visit, and Auntie Nikki was like, "Why don't you move here?" Mind you, at that time, Auntie Nikki didn't even know what I was
What
going.
did I do? Oh, okay, I did something good. Sorry.
You didn't even know. You didn't even know the hell that I was going through in Vegas. You had no idea I had that going on. Because I'm not calling and telling y'all, like, for what? I'm grown. I'm going to figure it out like I've been figuring it out. And I moved here and I ain't never looked back. And that's why I said this state ain't big enough for the two of us. She's go back where she came from.
Okay, so we're gonna
But,
get to that later because that is a whole different topic.
but,
You ain't ready for this topic,
but
ma'am.
do I feel like my parents damaged me or my upbringing damaged me? Absolutely. But I wouldn't be who I am if I hadn't been through all the things that I've been through. And I it feels weird to say this, but I actually have like a lot of wisdom and a lot of love that I'm able to give to other people, to like especially younger girls that like that I was looking for, but also that like I've had these experiences, so I'm able to share them with people who.
I hate that we have to have these experiences to be,
Oh, I
to
absolutely hate it.
like
Absolutely.
I don't
Because
I don't
I
want
I
Jasmine
think I
to
would
have
still
all of
be
the
really
damage in
loving.
order to be.
I think I would be really loving if I hadn't had those experiences, but there's certain things that I understand on a very different level.
Yeah.
Um and there's some situations where you don't even like, some people don't even have to say the words, like I just know and I'm able to just be there
Yeah.
because I've been there.
But
So it does give you a different perspective, but ooh.
let me ask you a question, Nicole. So Ray, sorry. Okay, y'all, she Nicole to me. So y'all gonna hear me call her Nicole because that's just what I call her. So sorry, y'all. Anyway.
She gonna bleep her name out.
Yeah, she gonna and that's
No, because you know what I've told people? Don't call me something that I didn't tell you to call me. Stick with the
oh,
name
Said
I'm
that you
the
like,
know.
same thing.
yeah, and I'm like, I've been calling you that since I was knee high to a duck. Well, I still am almost knee high to a duck. But anyway, so I want to hear what you have to say though. Like I think we were kind of giving our perspective on you, but I want to hear what you have to say, after what I said about, our relationship, my relationship with him, because I feel like, okay, we being completely honest here. I feel like if I'm honest, like I am like Shalita and Marquisha, and then Marquisha's his favorite. We all know that. Like, and we just addressed that Marquisha is favorite, Marquisha is favorite. Okay. But I feel like the person that he's closest to is me. Like where we have real conversation. We can both, you and I can both fuss at him. But I'm saying I feel like I do have the ability to tell him stuff, and he talks through stuff with me, or like he calls and he checks on Jazz, he calls and he checks on me, or he texts me and checks on me. And so I would be lying if I said that, he's not the relationship is different. And so I want to know, and that's not me saying that to be insensitive, so I hope you didn't take it that way, but since we're talking about this, um I want to know, like, where is your thought process with that? Do you think that you guys could ever have a different relationship? Are you over it? Are you just like, you know what? Okay. So I want to hear.
I don't think, we just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
He could care less about having a relationship with me. He's content with the way things are. He doesn't call and check on my kids or my grandkids, me. You know,
Okay.
and I've just come to the fact that it just is what it is at this point. I listen, I'm too, first of all, I'm too fucking crazy to be dealing with niggas that play. I don't play well. Y'all know I don't play well with others. So when I feel like you playing with me, it make me want to come see you. You understand what I'm saying? So I just I don't have to deal at all. He doesn't
But it
call
hurts.
me. He forgets my birthday, whatever. I'm just like, okay.
But
You
it
know what I'm
hurts,
saying?
and I feel bad, and I feel bad.
It
I
does,
be
but
wanting
there's
to fix
nothing I
it.
can
Like I
do.
be trying to figure out how to fix it, but I don't.
There is
I
no
don't.
fix for it. And I have had to realize that. And when I read that chapter in the book and I said, and that's why I don't fuck with you. Because you would have never did that to anybody else. And I have to really I have to own that. He would have never done that to none of y'all. Ever. He would have never put you and Jalen and Jasmine out. He would have never done that to y'all. With my infant, it wasn't like I was sitting there not giving you anything. You took the whole food stamp card. You did not think once to say, well, what do your kids want to eat? Well, only Ebony because Elijah was a baby. But you didn't once, you know what I'm saying? And then you still want money, and I'm giving you money, but then you want more money. The fuck, how am I gonna get out of your off your floor with my kids? I'm only working at Macy's. How do you expect me to move? Shalita in the room by herself. Ain't nobody in the room with her. It's me and Ebony and Elijah in there with Michelet. I mean, with Marquisha, and I think Angie and whoever else the fuck decided to drop into the drop in.
You was real deep until you said the dude drop in. I'm sorry.
Like, this what it
I'm
was.
not
Because every
trying
time
to
somebody
look.
come in that motherfucker, you got room for them. And I'm like, the fuck? Where you gonna put them? On the roof? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, seriously.
Do you mind me asking where was he at that point? Was he still in that apartment, or were they in the first
in
house?
that apartment on Torrey Pines.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I thought. I'm like, it had to be Vegas.
Yeah, so it's just
it was
like,
Vegas.
no, you would never.
She had people in LA. If she was in California, she was in Vegas. The
If
land
I
of
was in LA,
no resources. You was in Vegas, the land of no resources.
But let me tell you how good God is. Because I found myself in the Shade Tree Shelter. Shout out to the Shade Tree Shelter. I will tag you in this.
So is that a real place?
It's called the Shade Tree Shelter for real in North Las Vegas, where the homeless people go.
Okay.
And I'm sitting here and I'm looking around at these people, and I pull in with my car, because of course I have a car, and they looking at me like, what's she doing here? I sat there in the Shade Tree Shelter on a bunk bed with my children. And I was like, God, why, what did I do? Why am I here with my kids, with these homeless people, with these homeless drug addicts and prostitutes? What? You could not never have told me that that's where I would be with my children. I looked around and God said, you in here because they in here. You ain't no better. They homeless just like you. Okay. And he was right. Well, I was homeless. I had nowhere to go. I wasn't going to sleep in the car with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the shelter. And then they wake you up at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning, want you to do chores and clean up and shit. And I'm like, and then you got to get out. Where the fuck you want them to go? At least I have a job. I have a job to go to. They ain't got no job. They ain't got nowhere to go. They ain't got no car, but you making them get out.
Outside. They got to go outside and sit on the street till 5 o'clock at night.
What sense does that make? It makes no sense to me, and it just is.
They usually don't have funding to be able to have the place open during the day.
Well, they'll open the day room after like 10 or something like that. But you can only see, you can't sleep in there. It's just, it's like, what the heck? What is y'all
It's
doing? It don't make
usually
no damn sense.
it's usually a funding issue because they don't have enough staff to be able, like, the same staff that they're gonna have overnight. They a lot of places can't afford to have that staff during the day, and if they do try and have that staff during the day, then they not gonna have funding to be able to stay open on a long-term basis.
And you're in
Right,
Vegas.
I
But I
guess.
mean, but yeah, and that's all a lot of the show. You tell we work in homeless services, but but yeah, like that's yeah. But I'm with you. I'm like, and that's one of the things we tell our clients: you don't have to leave because that is where am I
Right.
supposed to go? Like I'm
To
homeless.
go
Where am
out
I
and get in
going?
some trouble.
And
They're
it's
gonna go out
Vegas.
and get
It's
in some
hot. I'm hot
trouble.
outside. Why I got to get up
Yeah,
at 7 o'clock in
Right.
the morning and leave
Vegas is
out?
hot as hell.
And then it's just like, and then after the first day, and then the second day, and I was sitting looking like, okay, Lord, I'm clearly supposed to learn a lesson. What's the lesson supposed to be? And then some lady came and said, go to EOB, and I was like, what's that? And she said, and she told me what it was, and I went to EOB, and then the next day I was in a place,
Mm,
but I was to learn that I'm no better than the homeless.
mm-hmm.
I was to learn to have empathy and
Can
to
I say
understand,
something?
because now you've been there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So, growing up, everybody always would have different stories about like different things that you did, like when they was younger, like oh, she got over me on me in this way and that way. Which Big Marcus definitely is the one to be like, oh, she did this or she did that. Well, he ain't brought these up in a very very long time. I heard this is I ain't heard nobody mention it in an extremely long time.
Hmm.
But if any of it is true, I feel it. Like, if any of it is true, the niggas deserved whatever the hell they got. Like, honestly, because,
Oh,
shit, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if any, yeah, I don't know. No, I don't,
oh my God,
yeah.
you're dumb. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's not good podcast protocol.
Listen,
You don't.
listen,
I
I'm
don't.
just
I don't know what to
saying,
do with you right now. As an auntie, I'm just like, Lord, please touch her life right now. Help her
Rain
navigate
down on her, Father God.
all I'm
this
saying is
podcast world.
if if niggas get what they getting, what's that? What is that Medea say? I ain't got to get got if I'm the one getting.
Something
If
like that, yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
like
I've never heard that line.
Well,
it's
because
he
it's like
said
I'm
it
gonna get
to
you better before you get me, basically.
mm-hmm. He said it to Dr. Phil because Dr. Phil was like, "Why do you always feel like you have to get people?" And she was like, "Because they trying to get me." And he was like, "Why
Right.
you feel like they trying to get you?" Well, if they trying to get me, then I'm gonna get them before they get me. So then I'm not getting got. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What's up?
pretty much. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
Medea. Don't let
Totally agree. Like,
let's
yeah,
not let
that's
Medea
what
be
she said.
your all of your life. Can you pick some of her better, sentiments? You go to the
Well, I mean,
She said,
you know
"Peace
me,
be made
I'm a
still."
deer through and through. So I'd be like, I understand what Medeia's saying. You know,
what a mess.
Yeah, I feel it.
I feel like, you know, no, I'm good.
And if that
I'm
brought
good.
up any questions, like if you want to ask me now or if you want to ask me later, let me know. Because honestly, I don't remember details. I remember something about a U-Haul, but I don't remember details. Also, again, whatever happened, niggas obviously got what they deserved. But I've been around enough to know that there's three sides to every story, first of all.
True. Hmm.
And also to know that some of my most favorite people
Oh,
are a little colorful in their versions of what somebody else has done to them. So there are quite a there like one of the things somebody said to me, like it was, I forgot who, it might have been Auntie Nikki. Somebody was asking me about something that someone else had said or whatever, and I was like, oh, I knew, but I don't give a damn. Like, you could tell me whatever you want to. Like, you could tell me your version of events. for the next 15 years, and I'm going to listen, I'm going to empathize, I'm going to talk to you about it. I might even give you my perspective on it. But I ain't going to go back and say that shit to nobody else cuz that ain't got nothing to do with me. You go tell them how you feel about that situation. And when they bring the situation up, I'm going to listen when they talk about it.
I
I'm
never
going
heard the
to
first time.
empathize.
Yeah.
I
Like it's the
might give
first
my.
time you ever heard it.
I ain't never heard this before in my life. Oh
You
my
know
God.
me, you know how I get down. I'm like, ask me if you know me, I ain't never been one to throw a rock and hide my hand. I did it. I didn't do it. I don't, ask me.
Yeah.
Bitch, oh, she remember a lot of shit she did. Just ask me. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that shit. Yeah, yeah, I did that.
Because sometimes I'd be like, no, that sounds like something I would say. Yeah, that sounds
Right. I'm
like
like,
me.
yeah, I
Like,
might not have said it
Most
quite
of the
that
time
way, but
sound like
that was
stuff
about the
you
gist of
said.
what I said.
yeah, you know my
But
mouth.
don't say some shit that I didn't say. I'm like, you a damn lie. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
What I
because see, it's
said
some
was,
stuff. Exactly.
because
Now,
I
don't
said
do
enough
it.
stuff. I don't need no assistance from nobody to get
Mm-mm.
myself in no trouble. I
Nope.
do pretty darn good on my own,
I don't need
you
no
know,
help.
at all. So I just
Mm-mm.
feel like when it comes to, you know, him, I guess I'm just, it just, I guess is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I think what you said was right. I'm not. I feel like you're the parent. You the one that did all the fucking up. So I'm not finna come to you and ask you, hey,
Can you
please.
call me? Can you
No,
call me? Can you
yeah,
text
right,
me?
right. No, I'm not doing.
Mm-mm.
I did it. I done. You know, I think what it is because I've done that shit. I've done it. I've done
Yeah.
it. You don't call not none of my kids. Never really have. Never.
And I'm
And
trying
we
to
ain't gonna
think.
talk about the
Yeah,
grandkids.
I think that's the same thing with Marcus. Maybe like I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't think. I don't know. And it sometimes feels a little awkward because I feel not guilty, but I feel like I feel bad.
It's like
Um,
survivor's guilt.
yeah, it's like I feel bad. Like, like I don't know. Like, okay, did I kiss his ass for him to have a relationship with me? No, I don't feel like that. But I feel like, and we've talked about you. And I will be honest, we've talked about you. We've talked about the relationship. I've, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I'm like, I try to talk to him about you and Marcus, like how do we build bridges, stuff like that. I just don't think he knows how to be that person. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't like because he says if I'm really honest, like he says, I mean, I told you about like when he says stuff, and I'm like, do you think about what you say before you say it? Like, do you
Nope.
get that thought? Like, you just and think it's okay. And sometimes, a couple times you have to say like, who the fuck you talking to? Like I'm a grown ass woman. You can't say that to me and walk off and think there's not going to be a follow because there's a follow, and we need
Right.
to, we need to we need
Right.
to clear this up so that we can keep moving.
He
Um,
doesn't really say that to me sideways slick because he probably know my reflexes to hit. I mean, I am my mama's child, so he probably just don't say sideways shit, slick shit to me I just because I'm quick to I'm quick to just because I don't realize and I trigger and bow is what I do. You know what I'm saying?
but
So
you're
I
gonna need to
stay
work on
out of
that,
stuff.
little buddy. You got to work on
Listen,
that.
that's
Just
why
as
I
just,
stay away from
just in
people.
general.
I
I
stay
don't want to
away from
say something you bow. Like we don't nobody got time for that. We too old. I can't even my shit don't heal that way no more. Like what are you talking about? Like
what I'm
shit,
saying. I know that
like
he
you can't
knows.
be bowing
Yeah,
people.
yeah. I'm the power queen.
But I mean, I think so. I'm gonna say again, even when he says stuff, one, I think he gonna be taking his medicine. But two, like he doesn't think about.
He's like an abuser. He likes to say shit. And you just gotta take it. Nah, I'm gonna fuck
I
that
don't
though.
think. Okay,
Mm.
I hear where that, but I don't. But that I don't agree with that. Um, I honestly, well, that's not my experience. I've seen where he said something flippant because in the midst of okay, so for instance, that thing we were talking about, it was the silliest to me the silliest reason why it was all about barbecue. We black, we like barbecue. So we said he couldn't cook at the family barbecue. Like you can't, you burn shit. Like you can't cook it. And we had told Daryl, you gonna cook at the family barbecue. You the grill master for the family barbecue. For whatever reason, he got in this feel, I can fucking cook. Da, 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 da. Walk down the hall, you know, that little leprechaun walk. So he goes and he hits the corner and he stops. Now he's yelled at Daryl, like he's just annoyed. So he stops and he comes back and he looks at me and he goes, just because I didn't raise you, don't mean, and the shit didn't even make sense. But he says, I'm like, just because I didn't raise you, don't mean that you know everything about me or something that just made no sense. And I was like, but it hurt my feelings. Like, right, the just because I didn't raise you in the midst of all of the children that you raised in the house, right?
This what you think you should have said?
I'm in your picket fence right now, right? I'm in your house with the picket fence where you raised these children who were worthy of your love from birth to adulthood, right? Ooh. So I'm in this house, and I'm just saying this is where I'm at, right? So I'm in this house, and though we had made all of this, I mean, I was not even 50. This was 49. This happened. I think this happened 2 years ago. Pretty sure this happened 2 years ago. And I was like, I didn't even realize I could be triggered like that until he said the little kid comment, and then I was like, oh, my little girl, she rose up like, what did he say? Like she was
clutch my pearls, clutch my skirt, clutch my ruffles, clutch everything.
He got fucking angry and walked right behind him because everybody's kind of standing there like, oh, he's mad. I don't give a fuck. Come right. Went right to his little room, his little raider room, his little haven, and slammed the door.
Funky ass room that needs to be aired out.
That's why he in there. But I was just like, but I was hurt. So then I responded hurt, and I was just like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, I'm not, and I'm gonna say this, even if my sisters see this, if you guys see this, beloveds, I love all of y'all, and I'm not taking no shots at y'all because y'all are my girls. But I said, you know, they fall back. I'm not falling back. Like, you got me fucked up. You can't talk to me like that. I was like, who are you talking to? So we talked it out and realized he hadn't been taking his medicine, when she got fussed at, like, dude, like, if you not taking your medicine, make you act like this, I'm gonna need you to chomp that shit like M&Ms. So that was one. But I didn't address specifically the comment about the you didn't raise me. So if you remember, Nicole, I remember we were there for the 4th of July, and that time was just passing, and it was lingering. Like, I was rehearing it in my head the whole weekend. I was feeling some type of way, and I was going home like 2 days later. And I remember I called you and I cried, and I said, he was so easy to say something he didn't even really realize cracked a little piece of my soul back open. It cracked up a piece of that hurt that has been like volcano, like it's been covered over for years. I said, but he cracked a little piece of that. And so you were like, you got to tell him. You got to tell him. And so, and I did. He came outside and we were putting my stuff in the car, and I stopped and I said, Dad, I got to tell you something. I said, because if I leave here, I know me. If I leave here with this hurt, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm just not. And so I told him what he said. I said, and I want you to know that when you said that to me, it was that as if everything you did to me as a child meant nothing. Like, you just was like, I said, you don't get to say anything about my childhood flipping. We cried and we hugged, yada, yada, yada. But I get where it's like some stuff, I don't even know what my point was. I'm be honest. I lost it in all of the translations, but I wish that you guys could have that type of conversation and the result was going to be the same. I know that it's not, but I want us all to be, you know, like how we mended our sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? Like how we mended our sisterhood. It's not perfect, but we all put the effort, and we still, you know, we got our group chat, and we don't talk all the time, but we can. We know that we can. We know that we can call each other, and we're, you know, and there was some real mending that happened for that. And I just wish that was some mending that was available, but our dad is not available in that capacity.
So I never told you this.
Something about the sister weekend. Don't blow my wig on about the sister weekend. Oh, okay. I was like, because we was beautiful. We was butterflies and some other things we're not gonna touch on. But or maybe we did touch on, but we're not gonna touch on the fact that we touched on. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Let me just tell you, your auntie ain't shit, Krishan Renee, but that's I'm gonna
No,
leave
no,
it
it's
at that.
all your aunties because it was all the
Right.
sisters. It was not just
Yeah,
me.
they ain't
It was
shit.
all of
I want
us.
you to know they ain't shit.
All of us married sisters, we sold her out because we could not be sold out. We gonna say the truth. I'm not.
Oh, they was pimping you out.
Oh, for
Man,
sure,
listen.
ma'am.
Listen,